So very good morning students, welcome back to second year physics. So in the previous we finished about a related to the different velocity and electric current. On that basis we also finished the problems. Let us will move into the next one, that is about a Ohm's law. So the Ohm's law is the very important because we should know what is Ohm's law. So the Ohm's law is nothing but a, suppose you take a conductor, through the conductor of a given a cross section area, you take as the given a cross section area, right? So that there is a given a cross section area, clear? So when there is a current flowing through the conductor, therefore there will be a current flowing and there will be a end of the conductor that maintains a potential difference is V. And when current flowing through the conductor is nothing but a, there will be a some opposition. Of course, definitely there will be an opposition. So that here, when current is flowing through the conductor, there will be a potential difference between the end of the conductor is V. And coming to the point is, see, at a given a temperature, and at a given a place, therefore the electric current is directly proportional to potential difference. The electric current is directly proportional to, at a given a pressure, at a given a condition and at a given a temperature, the electric current is directly proportional to the potential difference between the end of the conductor. The potential difference between the end of the conductor. See, electric current is directly proportional to the potential difference between the end of the conductor is known as Ohm's law. Or we can also say, at a given a pressure and at a given a temperature, the potential difference is also directly proportional to electric current. Both will be the same. See, the thing is, both will be the same. I directly proportional to V or V directly proportional to I. So anyone you take, anyone, it is the Ohm's law. And here a directly proportional is there, no? Therefore he introduces some constant. That constant is nothing but a capital R. Sir, what is capital R? Of course, capital R is nothing but a, we can say, resistance. It is the resistance of the given conductor. So right here resistance is, here you remember, it is the specific constant. It is the specific constant of a given a material. Try to understand, it is a specific constant of a given a material and it is independent on V and I. Everyone remember, it is independent on V and I. It does not depend on electric current and as well as the potential difference. So capital R is depends on, it is very important, is it is depends on, the first one is, it is length and second one is area. This we can also call dimension. It is depends on dimension or length and area. Third one you say temperature. Fourth one you say pressure. And fifth one we can say impurities. See, which is depends on. The thing is, electric current is directly proportional to potential difference between the end of the conductor, or potential difference is directly proportional to electric current. It's nothing but a Ohm's law. So that you take anyone, either V directly proportional to R or you want to say I directly proportional to V. Suppose I want to say about a I directly proportional to, you want to say, so that here I directly proportional to V, no, here you write a constant is 1 by R, because from here you write I is equal to R, you take this side, it is becomes denominator. So as it is, capital R is the resistance. We can also call capital R is nothing but a specific resistance. And it is independent on, it does not depend on V and I. It is a just a property, specific property of a materials. Which one? Capital R. And here it is independent on V and I, but the capital R is dependent on length, area, temperature, pressure and impurities. So it is about a resistance. We'll see the resistance again we have, so that it is about a Ohm's law. And here coming to the about a Ohm's law, I would like to tell you there are some very important points are there. Ohm's law is nothing but a, it is just a relation between electric current and potential difference. Just an electric current and potential, it is V and I, just an, it is an empirical relation, and it does not specify any general property. Which one? Ohm's law. It is just a relation between electric current and potential difference, that is I and V. It's an empirical relation, and it does not specify any general property. This is the first point related to the Ohm's law, right? And coming to the point is, and here, and it is valid. One more, it is valid in case of a ohmic substances, and it is not valid for the non-ohmic substances. Sir, what are these? Ohmic, or we can call ohmic devices. See, ohmic devices, first one. Second one, non-ohmic devices. See, there are two types of substances are there, ohmic devices and one more is non-ohmic devices. Sir, what is mean by ohmic? So, the ohmic in the sense is the substances which obeys the Ohm's law. See, which a substances obeys the Ohm's law? What is Ohm's law? I directly proportional to V or V directly proportional to V. Anyone you say. See, if it is obeys this law, then the substances which we can call ohmic devices are ohmic substances. Clear? And the substances which does not obeys the Ohm's law, that means V not directly proportional to I or I not directly proportional to V. The substances which does not obeys the Ohm's law, the devices which we can call as the non-ohmic devices. The devices which we can call as the non-ohmic devices. Very clear it is. Sir, what are the examples related to the ohmic devices? And what are the examples related to the non-ohmic devices? Ohmic devices are examples, best examples are metals. All metals obeys the Ohm's law. And non-ohmic devices. Non-ohmics are nothing but the devices which does not obeys the Ohm's law. See, best examples are related to the non-ohmic devices. You look into the examples. First one, semiconductors. Of course, it is their chapter. Coming to the vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes. And next one, coming to the next one, thermistor. Thermistor it is. So, these are the three substances for case of non-ohmic devices. In case of ohmic devices, it is only metals. This is the examples. Clear now? Now let us will see the related to this for all. Clear it is. Now let us will see ohmic devices, and as well as we'll see about a non-ohmic devices. See, ohmic in the sense is the substance which obeys the Ohm's law, right? That is I directly proportional to V or V directly proportional to I. Now coming to the point is, first one I will explain you with the graphs. Yeah, you go for the graphs. First of all, about a ohmic devices or ohmic substances, ohmic devices. So V directly proportional to I. So now I am telling about a V directly proportional to I. Of course, we know when it is directly proportional, there will be a graph. See, or you say Y directly proportional to X. Look at V is represented as Y, I is represented as X. So you take on the Y axis is V, and here on the X axis is you say I. If directly proportional, therefore there will be a graph is represented as the straight line. This is we know in the first year also we discussed this. So that the slope of the graph, we can say like this. So which making an angle theta, and you write from this, you extend a line onto the current axis or onto the X axis. So this it represented as V only. Now here you write slope of the graph, that is M is equal to tan theta. Of course, tan theta is equal to opposite V by I. Opposite by adjacent, right? But we know V is equal to IR. No? Here V by I is there. So that V by I is represented as capital R. So the slope of the graph is represented as the resistance in a given graph. In a given graph, slope of the graph is represented as the resistance, which is very very important everyone. Concentrate here. That means here the graph, slope of the graph is equal to tan theta, that is equal to V by I. Therefore, in this V and I, slope of the graph represented as the capital R, that is the resistance. So, it is for V directly proportional to I. And coming to the point is, another also I told you, that is I directly proportional to V. Again you write same way. Yes, you take a graph, it is X and it is Y. You look into the expressions, Y is represented as I and V is represented as X. Of course, it is also directly proportional. So, for directly proportional, that we know it represented as a straight line which passes to the origin of the graph. And then again you extend a line onto the x-axis. Now again you write a slope m, that is equal to tan theta, it is equal to theta opposite I by V. Again from here you look at, here it is I by V is required, no? So that you say 1 by R is equal to I by V. So now in this case, for I and V graph, therefore it represented as capital R, reciprocal of resistance. See, when reciprocal of resistance is nothing but we can call as the conductance, capital G. So, slope of the graph in case of I and V represented as conductance. That is, we can say capital G, that is a reciprocal of resistance. Reciprocal of resistance. So, this is about related to the Ohm's law, the substances which obeys the Ohm's law. That is the graph related to the ohmic devices, because it is directly proportional, no? That's what we are taking, the graph is related to this, like this. See, ohmic devices or ohmic substances, the substance which obeys the Ohm's law. Therefore, based on that, the graph ought to be taken like this. The graph is to be plotted like this. Is it okay now? The example is for the ohmic devices, you say metals. The best example is metals. Now let us will move into the non-ohmic devices. Sir, what are the non-ohmic devices? Of course, non-ohmic devices, I told you very clear, the substance which does not obey the Ohm's law. The substances which does not obey the Ohm's law. Yes. So, non-ohmic devices, non-ohmic, that is the V not directly proportional to I, of course, or you want to say I not directly proportional to V. So, the best examples I will tell you, that is first one is semiconductor devices, and second one is we can say about a thermistor, and one more is a vacuum tube, right? So, what is actually graph? So, you take any one graph. I want to tell you first one about a semiconductors. See, again it is there in the last but one chapter. You remember the chapter is there in the last one. So, it is not a last, it is a last but one. So, that again we have the chapter, don't worry, again there we will discuss it clearly. So, your V is taken on this, I is taken on this. It is a non-ohmic device, not directly proportional, no? Then is it represented as straight line? No, because that is not directly proportional, it may be curves. So, in this case we may get like this, it is minus I and it is, you say, minus V. See, on this basis again we have practical experiment also is there. In the second year there is a practical experiment, semiconductor devices. Sir, semiconductor devices, actually we have two types of semiconductor devices, that is we can say germanium is one and silicon is one. So, we will see in that chapter. Let I want to tell you another one, we can say vacuum tubes. Sir, what is vacuum tubes? So, the vacuum tubes are nothing but it is also does not obey the Ohm's law. So, it is also it is not in a straight line. It may be again represented as a some curve, like it is maybe. Not exactly straight line it is. Is it exactly straight line? No, because it does not obey the Ohm's law. Of course, for all graphs it is an origin is from origin only, started from origin only for semiconductors, for vacuum tubes and next one also is a thermistor. So let us I want to tell you about a thermistor. That is about a, you take as the thermistor. Sir, what is thermistor? I'll tell you, because it is also there in our chapter. We should know what is mean by thermistor, right? Again, you take a V and I. It may be graph represented like this. You take a 1 point and another point, you say like this. It is I1 and I2. From here also you say V1 and it is, you say V2. Not exactly straight line. It's something, it is like a S curve. So what is thermistor here? The issue is thermistor is nothing but it is a non-ohmic device. First point, it is a non-ohmic device. And it is made of with, see, this is the prepared with the materials which are like a semiconductor compounds. Semiconductor compound of alloy of nickel oxides. Which one? Thermistor is the device which is to be prepared or it is to be made of with semiconductor compound alloy of nickel oxides. Nickel oxides, which one? Thermistor. And coming to the point is, usually thermistor is, it is placed in the capsule with epoxy surfaces. You know, capsules, like you know, tablets. Tablet cover is there, no? So that the thermistor should be placed in the capsule with epoxy surfaces. Sir, why it is to be placed in the capsule with epoxy surfaces? See, if it is placed outside, not in the capsules, suppose it is placed in the outside, therefore that is to be reacted with the UV light, because it is a non-ohmic device, no? Immediately, because in the sunlight we have all lights, so that it is reacted with the UV light, therefore definitely the device does not show the correct readings. So that it must be placed in the capsule with epoxy surfaces. If it is placed in the capsule with epoxy surfaces, therefore it does not react with the UV lights. And coming to the point is, usually this we can use in the electronic and electric circuits. Which one? Thermistor. Sir, so the device, it is to be we can show like this. We can look into the like this. So the diagram of a thermistor will be like this. This is the diagram for thermistor, or we can also we can see like this. Here it is like this thermistor, which is to be in the circle like this. So this is the thermistor. It is clear, everyone? So thermistor is a non-ohmic device. Of course, we have two types of thermistors are there. One we can say temperature coefficient of positive resistance thermistor. Temperature coefficient of positive resistance thermistor. Second one, temperature coefficient of negative resistance thermistor. There are two types are there. Right away it is not required. We will see in the next topics, next classes, because there are, remember everyone, there are two types of thermistors. One we can say temperature coefficient of positive resistance thermistor. Second, temperature coefficient of negative resistance thermistor. There will be a positive is there will be a negative is there. Of course, these devices which we can use in the electronic and electric circuits. So this is about a thermistors. Is it okay now? Say non-ohmic devices, example semiconductor, vacuum tubes and thermistor. Sir, what is vacuum tubes? Of course, I'll tell you, I want to tell you the vacuum tubes also. You know, in general, nowadays we are using the smartphones, like laptops, like smart TVs and computers, so that it is a very small light. Our phones also very small, which we can see complete world. See, in this phones and in this laptops and computers, they are using the semiconductor devices, because the semiconductor devices that can occupy a small space in the given device. It occupies a small space which is cheaper in cost, which on semiconductors. Whereas the vacuum tube is, the size is very big. That's what if you see in the year of 1960s, there was a computers are very big in size. Like in the room, like a one room, it is to be size will be like a one room. So why it is to be? Because there it is to be, in that computers there was a vacuum tubes they were used vacuum tubes. Because of that, the size will be very big in size. So now it is to be compressed. Now it is to be compressed because nowadays we are using the LEDs, like semiconductors only. LED is also related to the semiconductors. LED TVs, LED phones, like we have number of smart devices are there in our market. So that the devices, they are using the semiconductors with of LEDs. LED also compound of semiconductor only. So that is there in the semiconductor topics, we can discuss there. It is very clear. LEDs also clear. No, vacuum tubes are vacuum tubes are size is very big. So that's what nowadays we are not using the vacuum tubes. Like it is also like one electronic device only. Clear. No, this is about a non-ohmic devices and with examples, and what are the graphs are there, like this it is. Is it okay now? So now let us we'll move to the next one. So now we know Ohm's law is nothing but it is V is equal to IR. This is the conclusion formula for Ohm's law, or V is equal to IR, or otherwise you say I is equal to, which is very very important, you remember everyone. V is equal to IR or I is equal to V by R. So this is the relation, and you remember resistance, I told you clear it is. Resistance is independent on V and I, it does not depends. Sir, what is mean by resistance? Of course, let us will move to the next topic, it is resistance. Sir, what is resistance? Yeah, you look into the capital R it is. And first point I want to tell you, resistance is nothing but it is a scalar. It is a scalar, of course. This is the first point. And coming to the definition of resistance, here we know from to the this capital R is equal to V by I. Here it is, we can say like this. From this expression you see, capital R, you take this side and cross multiply, I will come to the denominator. So that capital R is equal to the ratio of potential difference to electric current. Resistance is nothing but it is the ratio of potential difference to electric current. That's all. That's all it is. So resistance is defined as V by I. And you remember resistance we can also say like this: the opposition offered by the substance. Opposition offered by the substance is nothing but a resistance. So of course our human body also there is a resistive power. So that resistance is there, no, that's what we can. Otherwise, if not, we cannot. So there will be some resistance is there for human bodies also. So here also same in the electric devices, in electronic devices and electric circuits, the substances which opposes the flow of charges, or there will be an opposition in a given a circuit. Suppose if there is a circuit, so the symbol of resistance is, we can say like this. It is a symbol, and this we can say fixed resistance, capital R, or resistor. And there will be a variable is there. That variable is nothing but which shows like arrow mark. It is a variable resistor. It is a fixed resistor or resistance. The symbol of resistance it is. Everyone concentrate. It is a symbol of resistance which we can see like this in our electronic devices. And coming to the point is, again I will tell you, resistance is nothing but it is a specific substance, or it is a material. It is a specific property of a material. The substance is related to the material. It is a specific property of a substances. And coming to the next one, resistance is depends on, just now I told you in the last topic, resistance is dependent on, once again I am repeating you, depends on length, second is area, third is temperature, fourth is pressure, fifth is impurities. These are the depends. And what about independent? Independent is nothing but here it is V and I, does not depends. It does not depends. So this is about a resistance. Now coming to the point is, see here the next one, units. Of course we should know units. Potential difference we know, which we usually measured a volt. Current is measured in a ampere, right? That we can also call ohm. So ohm symbol it is. We can also write here it is ohm like this. So 1 ohm is to be defined as, 1 ohm is to be defined as, it is a 1 volt by 1 ampere. That is, when there is a 1 ampere of current flow, there will be a 1 ampere of current flow. Therefore, there will be a end of the conductor is maintains a 1 volt of potential difference. 1 ampere current flow in the conductor. There will be a end of the conductor, it maintains a 1 volt potential difference is nothing but we can call 1 ohm. The symbol of ohm is we can say like this. And what about the dimensional formula? Of course, which is very very important dimensional formula, ml square t power minus 2 I power minus 2, I mean I power minus 1 actually. It is minus 3, and here we can say it is a potential difference by there will be a current is there, no, therefore ml square t power minus 3 I power minus 2. It is the resistance dimensional formula, everyone remember. It is the dimensional formula for resistance is ml square t power minus 3 I power minus 2. So once again conclusion I am telling you, resistance is nothing but it is the ratio of potential difference to electric current. Or very simple manner, the resistance is nothing but the opposition offered by the substance. The opposition offered by the substance is nothing but which we can call as the clear. It is what it is, resistance. And here usually we know the related to like it is a scalar and R is equal to V by I. It is a fixed resistor and variable. It is depends on length, area, temperature, pressure, impurities, and independent on V and I, and unit of this ohm, or we can say 1 ohm by 1 volt or ampere. And your dimensional formula ml square t power minus 3 I power minus 2. This is about what it is, we can say related to the what it is about a resistance. Clear? So which is related to like this. This is the today's class, and we'll look into the next continuation topics are there. We'll see in the next class. Thank you very much.